Bitcoin had a little bit of a drop yesterday. It's bouncing a little bit today. Everyone just waiting for this ETF, guys, spot ETF. The bulls will tell you that, oh, this is going to catapult it over 100,000. I think it'll get a little bit of a pop, maybe a pop, like I said, to 48 to 50, and then it reverses and goes back down. Maybe it doesn't even get to 48 to 50. Again, I said this yesterday in Trading the Close with Tony Valliere, but the key is this, is that I don't know any investor in crypto that's not in Bitcoin on anticipation of this approval. So again, who is left to buy? And you could say BlackRock and all these other players, but honestly, guys, they're smarter than that. Like, again, if you're someone sitting there being like, oh, I can't wait till, BlackRock comes in and buys all this, it's like, dude, no. Like, you think that they're going to be the ones paying up at 48,000 for this? No, they're not. Absolutely not. They have already hedged themselves. They've already put things into place where they already have deals with this or that. They've already done it. Now, it doesn't mean that adoption might not be a catalyst over time with a spot ETF. But again, that leads me into my other thing, which is I think Coinbase, by the way, is a huge short on Coinbase. In fact, let's bring up that chart right now and discuss just a little bit here, all right, as we go through. And the reason why, number one, Coinbase has had an incredible move. Incredible company, don't get me wrong. But think about this, is once you have a spot ETF, and I'm Gareth Soloway, right? And it's like, okay, do I have $1 million in Bitcoin, or do I put $1 million in the ETF where I have FDIC insurance? And where if someone jacks my account and steals my Bitcoin, I'm screwed over here, but I'm not screwed over here. It's a tough one, right? Now, again, you could say, oh, well, Coinbase is going to be the custodian for all of these, right? The custodian, so for Coinbase and for all these ETFs. Dude, this is another thing. The margins on being a custodian for BlackRock are about this tiny compared to what they're charging you and me to make trades on Coinbase, which is like this big. The margins are massively different. All right, so you have to understand these nuances, right? And again, to me, I look at Coinbase and I say in 10 years, it's going to be like E-Trade, Ameritrade, Schwab. It's going to be one of these. And honestly, they're probably going to have to offer free trading because there'll be so much competition once essentially you get enough players in there that have regulation, and obviously the exchanges kind of get bigger and bigger and more exchanges, more people offering. And by the way, I want to point this out too. Do you not think that TD Ameritrade is going to offer crypto? I mean, if they don't already, I think they offer futures and stuff like that. But heck yeah, they're going to get into place, which now is going to drive their margins, Coinbase, down even more. So anyways, I digress, guys. I got off on a little tangent there.
Hi, crypto friends. Crypto Street is back with gifts and the jolliest, most mind-blowing crypto scoop to light up your screens, like no other. Hit that subscribe button and buckle up. Let's talk about the signals from the crypto oracle, Matthew Hillen, who says a fresh BTC move is coming. Bitcoin's been playing hard to get, dancing around $42,739. But guess what? Matthew Hillen, our crypto whisperer, says the big players are about to make their move. Up or down, one thing's for sure, get ready for some crypto fireworks. Bollinger Bands and RSI. These indicators are like Batman and Robin, giving us a heads up on the impending bullish parade. The Bollinger Bands are tightening up, and when that happens, history tells us we're in for a wild ride. Check out the chart. It's tighter than your crypto buddy's wallet. Enter RSI, the momentum maverick. It's been taking a breather, currently at 53, way below the overbought zone. Translation: Bitcoin's got room to stretch its legs, and don't let the recent dip fool you. This baby's just reloading for the next epic move. Get ready for liftoff. But wait, there's a wild card, MACD. The sneaky devil is threatening a bearish twist on the 3-day time frame. Hillen warns us not to pop the champagne just yet. We've got a few days for this signal to behave. Now, let's continue our enlightening discussion with Gareth Soloway.
We have a potential breakdown that could confirm. I know it's hard to see here, but if you zoom in on this chart, you can see yesterday we closed below this yellow trend line. Today would be the confirming move. And again, confirmation is something very, very important that I developed. It basically tells you whether it's a fake out or a real breakdown in this scenario. And that's what I'm watching today. It's not confirmed yet. I have to wait till the end of the day. But if this confirms, this tells us that the dollar, while it will get bounces, likely is headed lower. Now, if we zoom out on this chart, I want to just show you where this is coming from. All right, if we zoom all the way out, this trend line goes back a long way. Look at this, guys, going all the way back to 2021. And essentially, it was the beginning of this bigger bull run that we saw in the dollar as the Federal Reserve was hiking rates. And so, again, big move up. We've now come back down. And again, barely see it right here, but we're beginning to break to the downside. Now, short term, let's talk very short term. Those are always going to be the most accurate predictions because you're not leaving the open to too many variables occurring during this period. But basically, if you look at this, there's one little level that you'll have some support at. And again, I put my trend line right there, but I'll just draw it in. Basically, this pivot low here to here through here, and then again, just kind of continues through. This gives us a short-term target of 100.83 on the Dixie, the DXY. If it breaks, and eventually, unfortunately, I do think it breaks lower, it's going down to this pivot low. And again, this pivot low is right around 99.50. So again, we're looking at a potential downside move to 99.50 on the charts based off that pivot low there. Okay, so again, there's your dollar target. Now, that's going to be very good for gold. That's going to be very good for commodities overall. And the one thing I want to say, guys, and I tweeted about this not too long ago, but basically what you're seeing here is a reinflation. And I know people are going to be like, oh, but I thought it was disinflation and I thought it was deflation and all this. Well, yeah, that's what was occurring. But this is the kicker, guys. If you look at the U.S. dollar, we have now fallen from this high up here down to here. This is about a 5.5% move down on the U.S. dollar. And the kicker here is that now is what we call importing inflation. And so essentially what's going to happen here and what is happening is that as the dollar's value declines and we buy goods from other countries around the world and import goods, we now have to pay more money for those goods. So instead of it being $10, it might be $11 to buy that same widget that you bought from, let's say, China or somewhere else around the world. So that while the stock market likes a dropping dollar, the ultimate outcome of basically a declining currency is that it imports inflation. And go to places like Venezuela or other countries in the world, and you will see this firsthand. Now, this is a very minor example versus what has happened in many other countries. But my point is this, is that we're dealing with hairs of inflation here, right? Is the Fed looking for 2.5% CPI? Or are they looking for 2.8? Or are they looking for 3% or 3.2? These little differences actually matter in the scheme of things. If you see a dollar declining by, let's say, another 3 or 4%, let's say we get to 10% off of the highs, think about the potential for the CPI to start to uptick just enough, which now throws a huge kink in the whole, oh, the Fed can cut 175 basis points like they've been talking about. I mean, again, that's what the market's pricing in. I'm just telling you what the Fed funds futures are telling us. The dot plot is basically, we're talking about 175 basis point cut is what the market is expecting. With a dollar declining, if we do go down here, there's a lot of commodities that are going to be going up. And again, the drop in the dollar is going to help push them up even more. So again, guys, big stuff here. This is a big deal that if the dollar continues, it again is good for the stock market right now, not necessarily good for the economy longer term and potential for the Fed to cut interest rates.
2023 proved to be an extraordinary year for Bitcoin and the broader crypto economy, surging significantly in value once the dust settled from the FTX debacle, and as major players such as BlackRock and Franklin Templeton lodged applications for spot Bitcoin exchange-traded funds, ETFs. Alongside the ever-changing crypto markets, the global economy commanded attention with the brightest countries taking bold steps and economists sounding alarms about a looming economic crisis. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, has reportedly set a deadline of December 29 for spot Bitcoin ETF applicants to finalize their filing amendments. According to reports, the SEC has told spot Bitcoin ETF issuers that applications that are fully updated and filed by this Friday will be considered in the first wave of its spot Bitcoin ETF decision. Nobel Prize-winning economist Robert Shiller has warned against the effects that the confiscation of Russian assets in Western countries might have on the stability of the dollar-dominated financial system. According to Shiller, a move of this kind might cause a cataclysm, opening the doors for countries that use the dollar as a reserve currency to move their treasuries to other currencies. That wraps up today's crypto news highlights. Stay tuned for more updates, insights, and analysis from the world of cryptocurrencies. Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more engaging content.